It's Thursday night. It is the unofficial start to the weekend. I'm going to invite everyone to take your seats. If you're at the bar, rest assured the bar will be there the entire evening. It's not going anywhere. A very warm welcome to the 21st anniversary of the Fraser Valley Cultural Diversity Awards. What a great looking group. I honestly can't imagine us squeezing another table in this ballroom this evening. I want to say you all look fabulous, and I am absolutely delighted to once again be in Abbotsford. I just want to check, are there any Real Housewives in the room? Any Real Housewives from New York by any chance? You know, Bethany, if you are here or if you are watching, you know, Bethany Frankel from the Real Housewives of New York, she was here recently in Abbotsford and was obsessed with Abbotsford and the Fraser Valley. And, you know, it's something that I think all of us already in this room share a love of, and that is our community, the Fraser Valley and Abbotsford, and we can't thank all of you enough for carving out the time to join us this evening. My name is Fred Lee. I am a member of the media, but more importantly, I am the biggest fan of the Fraser Valley Cultural Diversity Awards. I am delighted to be back as your host and MC this evening. If you are a regular, you know that last year, unfortunately, for some reason, I lost my voice and could not attend the 20th anniversary. What a milestone. But I do want to acknowledge my dear friend Fiona Forbes, who stepped in at the last moment to keep the party going. And I am just so grateful to Archway for the invitation back. And I promise, and I did my best to keep my voice this year. And tonight, we are going to have a wonderful evening. Are we ready to party? To begin, let's give it up for John Gilliatt, who was providing the musical accompaniment, that wonderful guitar. I've had the pleasure of working with John on many charitable events. Thank you, handsome, for joining us this evening. And we are going to be hearing more from him throughout the evening as we enjoy this beautiful dinner. So the dinner is behind us. And shortly, we'll get to tuck into that. And if you need to recharge your glasses, again, that bar is not going anywhere. But before we do so, it is absolutely my pleasure to welcome someone I just had the pleasure of meeting. And she may be a little nervous, but we're going to give her a big Fraser Valley welcome. We would like to begin by paying our respects to the traditional territories of which we are gathered this evening and celebrating. To do that, I would like to now welcome Augusta Gladstone to the stage. Augusta is from the Kwakwaka'wakw Nation. Augusta is also one of our nominees this year and has kindly offered, she clearly brought her fans. Augusta has kindly agreed to offer to lead the land acknowledgement, followed by a welcome song. Everyone, Augusta Gladstone.
Yo Ixis, Nuga Augusta, Haichkasiem. My name is Augusta Gladstone. I'm from the Kwakwaka'wakw Nation, Tlawitis. I live, work, and play on the unceded, traditional, ancestral, and shared lands of the Stalo, Lacamo, Matsquit, Sumas, Scowlitz, Wahwanek, Wahwilmu First Nations since time immemorial. I also like to acknowledge all the Indigenous people of Turtle Island and Mother Earth, all my relations. I'm so happy to be invited here as nominated for an award. When I think of the cultural diversity, I think of cultural safety. We can't reach that until it is safe for you to be you and me to be me. I often think about truth and reconciliation as well, what all the journey it was for me, and that was just being present in the community, which is really hard to do. I guess it was internalized racism. I come from the second intergenerational trauma, but I also have intergenerational strength. My grandma was a survivor of the St. Michael's residential school in Alert Bay. And everyone probably knows Robert Joseph, who is the ambassador for truth and reconciliation. He's my grandma's cousin. And I often think of the word Namwayut, that is a Kwakwala word for one heart, one mind, how we could all move forward as in unity without so many barriers. My grandma's in a better place right now, over at the bingo hall. Hey. So I'd like to share this song. This is my Uncle Frank's song. Thank you. And he composed this for the survivors. This is the hotel that me and my grandma came to for when she did her settlement. So I just wanted to bring that song out, and it's my Uncle Frank's song. If anybody wants to come stand by me and sing it, feel free.
Everyone, I think you'll agree Augusta just crushed it. Another round of applause. thank you so much for starting off the evening in such a beautiful way. And congratulations, Augusta, on your nominations. We want to extend a very warm welcome to not only Augusta, but to all of our nominees this evening. We have in the room more than 50 champions of inclusion in our community. Everyone, if we can just give them all a big round of applause. In my books, you're already winners, and continue to do the work that you do in this community. It is now my pleasure to bring to the stage probably someone that needs no introduction, if particularly you are a resident of the city of Abbotsford. He was born and raised here in Abbotsford, began as a city councillor, and since 2022 has become the mayor. He may also know something about cars, if you want to talk to him about your car. Everyone, please give a Fraser Valley welcome to Mayor Ross Siemens.
Thank you so much, Fred. Good evening, everyone. On behalf of the City of Abbotsford and Abbotsford City Council, I am proud to be here along with my fellow councillors for the 2024 Fraser Valley Cultural Diversity Awards. It really truly is an honor for us to once again host these awards in our beautiful city. We are the cultural and economic hub of the Fraser Valley. And when I look around this room, I think we are more aptly named the multicultural hub of the Fraser Valley. Abbotsford is one of the most diverse communities in all of Canada. We are, in fact, a community of communities and a shining example of what it means to be Canadian. The variety of perspectives, experiences, and traditions that are found here serve to enrich all of us, and as we create a thriving and welcoming community. Diversity is a part of our cultural fabric, and as your elected leaders, that diversity influences how we govern. Having an inclusive and connected community is one of our first priorities of our strategic plan, and all the decisions that we make as a council are done with those priorities in mind. It's also one of our main goals as a council is to embrace our diversity as one of our community's greatest strengths. It was a very meaningful welcoming that we had earlier, and I just wanted to commend our First Nations. We have an amazing relationship, and in fact, I think we're the first community in British Columbia that has an agreement with all of our First Nations that we are working together on our flood mitigation with the province. And it truly is something I'm very proud of, and that our council is very proud of. And looking around this room, I can see the strength of our diversity. People from a variety of backgrounds from across our region finding innovative ways not only to promote diversity, but to build a more inclusive and welcoming society. I want to thank everyone for being here to celebrate the importance of diversity. There is a lot of divisiveness and intolerance in our world, but events like this prove that we can use diversity as a uniting force. There is much more positive going around in our world and many more positive things happening. Let's not let the negative overpower the positive. Events like this prove that we can move forward together and face our challenges head on, coming together and valuing each other, respecting each other, and making sure that everybody feels that they have a home and a voice here in the Fraser Valley. I want to thank Archway Community Services for organizing this event, the partnerships with our friends in Chilliwack Community Services, Mission Community Services, and New Directions English Language School in Langley. We commend your leadership and your commitment to nurturing diverse communities across our region. I want to thank the sponsors as well as the volunteers and everyone working behind the scenes. You play a vital role in championing multiculturalism in the Fraser Valley. And finally, I would like to congratulate this year's nominees. You all do the very important work in our communities and deserve this recognition that you are getting tonight. You are all champions simply by being nominated. I want to thank you again for being here, for making this a meaningful event, and for the work that you do day in and day out to make Abbotsford and the Fraser Valley truly an all-Canadian and a place that we can be very proud of. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Siemens. We are absolutely delighted to have you join us this evening. I think you will agree this is a lot more fun than a council meeting. But if you do need to speak to him about your permit application or a parking ticket, he's at table 16. We would also like to acknowledge some of our other elected officials who have put themselves forward to serve us in public life. It is not an easy role, and we ask them to stand so that we could recognize them. And please, for everyone else, please hold your applause until the end, as we have quite a few joining us this evening. Clearly, they know a good party when they see one. So joining us from Chilliwack, and she literally just invited me for coffee to have a chat. We have MLA Kelly Padden, Mayor Ken Popoff, Councillor Nicole Reed, and Stolo Elder Eddie Gardner. We love Chilliwack, and I say that sincerely, particularly when you put out the finest corn in the country. So, anyone who knows me knows I love my corn and do not stand between me and my delicious corn on the cob. And from Abbotsford, your host for the evening, we've already heard from Mayor Ross Siemens. We also have councillors Dave Lowen, Patricia Ross, Kelly Shahal, Les Barkman, our good friend Patricia Driesen, and Dave Sidhu. We also have school board trustees Shirley Wilson, Preet Rai, Rupi Kunda Rajwan, and Corky Neufeld. Big round of applause. And from Mission, we have Councillor, she's at my table, Angel Elias, and School Board Trustee Josh Baines. And from Langley, Township Councillor Tim Bailey. Big round of applause. We're now going to introduce our next very special guest, who is going to be coming to us virtually. To introduce our keynote speaker this evening, it is my pleasure to invite, and I had the pleasure of meeting her earlier this evening, Kelly Kak from Prospero Credit Union. There she is. A big thank you to Prospera Credit Union for your continued support of the Fraser Valley Cultural Diversity Awards. Everyone, a warm round of applause to Kelly Kak.
Thank you, Fred. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. It is indeed an honor to be here with all of you. The Fraser Valley Cultural Diversity Awards are extremely near and dear to us at Prospera Credit Union. This event aligns beautifully with our values and commitment to diversity, equity, and inclusion. Personally, I'm always delighted to return to Abbotsford as it is one of my favorite cities in BC. Applause. At Prospera, although we are still fairly new on our DEI journey, we have made tremendous progress. From creating our employee resource groups like Prospera's Women's Network, our Tapestry group, for newcomers to Canada, our team is always dedicated to creating a strong sense of belonging for our members, employees, and neighbors in the communities where we work and live. It is now my pleasure to introduce our keynote speaker. As Fred said, while we would have loved to welcome her in person due to travel limitations, Sally Armstrong will be joining us virtually this evening. I'm extremely excited to hear from Sally and think we are all in for an absolute treat. Although my introduction will not do justice to all the work Sally has done, I'd like to share a few brief details. Sally Armstrong is an award-winning author, journalist, and human rights activist. She is an author of 4 best-selling books: Ascent of Women, The 9 Lives of Charlotte Taylor, Veiled Threat, The Bitter Roots, Tender Shoots. Sally Armstrong was the first journalist to bring the story of the women of Afghanistan to the world. She has also covered stories in complex zones from Bosnia and Somalia to Rwanda, Afghanistan, Iraq, South Sudan, Jordan, and Israel. She is a 4-time winner of the Amnesty International Canada Media Award and recipient of 11 honorary doctorate degrees and an officer of the Order of Canada. Please join me in welcoming to the screen our keynote speaker, Sally Armstrong.
Well, thank you. Am I on? Do we have sound? I'm so delighted to be part of your program tonight, and I just wish I could be there. I love Abbotsford. I've been several times, and you do live in a spectacular city. So tonight I was asked, given only 15 minutes, I'm going to talk fast. I have a confession to make to you. You've been on my mind for the last 10 days. I've been away in Kenya on assignment for the Globe and Mail. I was there to do a story about seeking justice for little girls who'd been raped. So how come you were always on my mind? Well, it's because of your interest in diversity and justice, because they're one and the same in diversity and justice. And so throughout the week, I kept thinking, I must tell them this story. I must tell them that story. So here is the story. It actually began a decade ago when 160 little girls between the ages of 3 and 17 decided to sue the government of Kenya for failing to protect them from being raped. You know, there's a belief in sub-Saharan Africa that if you have sex with a little girl, it'll cure you of HIV/AIDS. Just imagine that. And the problem is that nobody was getting arrested. Well, I can't say nobody was getting arrested, but very few were getting arrested. And so hardly anybody was going to jail. But on top of that, there was the shame involved in being raped, which makes families keep secrets, sometimes even move a child to another town to avoid having to confront the reality of rape. So these girls took their case to court. Well, they won. And when they won it for 10 million girls in Kenya. You know, once the win happened, people said, well, if you don't do something about what was wrong, then why did you fight this case in the first place? And what they needed to do was reform the judiciary, not the little girl. Somebody else had to do that. But who is going to do that? I mean, you have to be incredibly sensitive and so experienced to retrain an entire police force in a whole country. So who stepped up to the plate to do that? Well, it was the sexual assault department of the Vancouver police force. They said, we'll help. And they sent over train the trainer officers to work with the Kenyan police. But at the same time, the little girls decided they wanted legacy. They wanted everyone to know why they fought this case. And you know what kids are like? They wanted a program for the schools that included singing and dancing and debating and heaven knows what. So the Rotman School of Management at the University of Toronto handed the program idea to their MBA class, put them in touch with the girls in Kenya, and said, figure it out. I can't imagine a better assignment for an MBA class. So, you know, these things went on. The police were retrained. The little girls did work with the MBA students, and they came up with what they call justice clubs. So I went back there for the Globe and Mail to find out if it was really working. And I'm telling you, I came away with a renewed sense of hope, not only for the little girls, not even for justice. It was because of the way organizations such as the Archway Community Services have taken up this clarion call. Imagine having awards for diversity in your organization to celebrate a sense of accomplishment over changes that had to be made. And not only that, to make sense of a world that today seems to be falling off a cliff. So I kept thinking about you and the valuable work you were doing on inclusion and on diversity. And guess what? I'd been spending 10 days with people trying to turn the Titanic around on justice for little girls in Kenya. I got on a plane to come home, and you came with me. You know why? I turned on the TV on the plane, and there was that new documentary called Without Precedent, The Supreme Life of Rosalie Abella. Remember her? She's just retired from the Supreme Court of Canada. I watched it, and I thought of you all the way through, because listen to what she said. I will never cater to the majority. I am prepared to be impartial and unpopular and do things that protect minorities. Justice isn't about laws. Justice is about the application of rules to life. And that means you have to take a chance with public opinion and risk being unpopular in order to do the right thing. And isn't that where we are, all of us, today? You are the change makers. You are the ones guided not only by the need for change, but for the stage that has been set for you to put your demands on. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is the good news for International Women's Day in 2024. You are part of what we call the fourth wave of the women's movement. You might remember someone talking about the first wave, which was, between, I think it was 1848 and about 1920, when the suffragettes demanded that women have the vote. The second wave would be the one between 1963 and 1980. That was certainly part of the wave I got involved with when we put all our faith in the pill and we had consciousness raising sessions and we demanded a change in the status of women. The third wave was a little more intricate and probably more obvious in America, because that was when Anita Hill was called to testify in the televised confirmation of the hearing in the US Supreme Court for the nominee Clarence Thomas. I don't know if you remember that, but she had accused him of sexually assaulting her or sexually harassing her. And you know that all-male committee excoriated Anita Hill in public, on television. Why? They simply didn't believe her. And that was the first time the public started to understand issues around sexual assault and sexual harassment and the fact that women simply were not believed. But even so, those three waves did not, they contributed enormously. They didn't change enough. It is the fourth wave, the one that started in 2012 with social media. And that's the one that took off with a focus on intersectionality, a push for greater empowerment of traditionally marginalized groups, Indigenous people, people of color, LGBTQ, religious and cultural minorities, people with physical and developmental disabilities, people of differing social classes. They all demanded greater representation in politics and in business. And the fourth wave feminists argue that society will be much more equitable if the policies and the practices incorporate the perspectives of all people. What a surprise. I mean, how come it took us this long to figure that out? Well, earlier feminists like me fought to shake off the ties that bound us to subservience. This new wave, this is the one, and this is the one you're dealing with so brilliantly, because it calls for justice against discrimination, for against assault and harassment. It calls for equal pay, and it calls for individual choices over our own bodies. Words like cisgender and non-binary and polyamorous reflect the new vocabulary in a changing and much more diverse society. And the clarion call for inclusion is being heard around the world. And I must say, being heard loudly tonight in Abbotsford, British Columbia. This is the wave that created #feminism and put abusive, powerful men on notice. And by all accounts, this is the one that got lifted off. Because the symbiotic relationship between social media and individualism is precisely what's driving the bus for change today. You know, in terms of change, we've always depended on political will to change up the agenda, the stroke of the politician's pen to put in the stop sign, build a new shelter, change a law, but it was public will that pushed the politician to do that. So we marched and we signed petitions and we raised the roof. And those two wills, political will and public will, they worked for a long time. But what I'm noticing now on assignment in countries, because I'm a journalist, I cover conflict. My beat is to find out what happens to women and girls. And what I'm noticing is something new, and I'm calling it personal will. And I want to explain that to you. I think Malala Yousafzai would be a great example. Remember her, the 15-year-old girl in the Swat Valley in Pakistan who wanted to go to school. She wanted to go to school to learn to think for herself. But the Taliban said, you may not go to school, and if you dare to go to school, we will kill you. Well, you know, on October the 8th, 2012, the last words Malala heard were from a man getting on the school bus saying, which one is Malala? He shot a 15-year-old girl in the head because she wanted to go to school. He claimed, of course, he was acting in the name of God. But you know, what happened next was different, because Malala recovered and she came back and she started a movement about the importance of education for all girls all around the world. There was no politician in the Swat Valley saying the girls have to go to school. And indeed, there were no marches saying, how come our girls are not allowed to go to school? What Malala did, she did with personal will. And today, look at her. Everyone knows her. You know her, I know her, my grandchildren know her. Malala did what she did out of personal will. And it's that sort of thing that is bringing us together tonight in Abbotsford, British Columbia. You know, the holy grail for social innovators this year, or indeed in the 21st century, is knowing how campaigns such as #MeToo or personal will can be sustained. I don't have the answer, but I do have a little proof. Remember, I think it was February the 18th, 2021, that little craft called Perseverance was heading out to Mars. I think we were all caught up in that. But when it landed, a female astronaut, she did the landing and she went live around the world, and she was referring to it as 7 minutes of terror. And we all listened while she brought this little craft down onto Mars. I mean, it had been a 7-month voyage, and then the 7 minutes of terror. Well, at the end of it all, a journalist said to her, what can you compare this to? I mean, this is historic, this is brilliant, this is science like we've never used before. To what can you compare this incredible feat? You know what she said? She said, childbirth. I was cheering in my room when I heard her say it, because I thought, we won, we won. Never has anyone equated childbirth with brilliance, with science, with historic activity, but that's what happened that day. And you know, it reminds me that we all play a role as change makers, every one of us, every one of you and me. And the thing is, it's not unusual, you know, to want to right a wrong, help someone in trouble, stop an injustice. But what is more rare is those who decide to take action, to use those words and do something about them, not unlike what you're doing tonight in Abbotsford, British Columbia. You know, when we see evil, we can be altruistic and do something about it, or we can look the other way. Remember the philosopher and writer Hannah Arendt? She devoted much of her life to the analysis of good and evil. In fact, she's the woman who went to Jerusalem to watch the trial of Adolf Eichmann, the man who bears much of the responsibility for the Holocaust, because she thought if she looked in his face, she'd know what evil was. But you know what? She looked in his face, she saw a pretty ordinary man. Her conclusion was that evil thrives on apathy and cannot exist without it. Hence, apathy is evil. You see, when injustice encounters inertia, it uses that passivity exactly as though it were approval. And in the absence of protest, evil is nourished and it can flourish. The nature of goodness, therefore, bears a very keen resemblance to intervention. Individuals who seek to serve their conscience or find meaning in their lives or simply seek the quiet splendor of moral growth are obliged to get involved when something's wrong in the community, in the country, indeed, in the world. But you know, most people, as theater critic Walter Kerr once put it, cast themselves in the role of spectator, whatever the provocation, to take action. You've heard them. They say, I'm only one person. I'm not rich. I'm not famous. I'm not powerful. What do you expect me to do? But you know, the trouble with that kind of thinking is that innocent bystander is sometimes an oxymoron. People who do not intervene when something is amiss give tacit permission for injustice to continue. But upsetting the status quo, as you know better than anybody, is not easy. In fact, it's pretty tough. You may have to brave the disapproval of your colleagues or the censure of your friends or even the wrath of society. When you stand up and say what you're doing is not okay with me and I want to change, you're putting yourself up to maybe some criticism. But you know, it takes awesome moral courage to go against the grain. And it's been said that moral courage is a rarer commodity than bravery in battle or even great intelligence. But I can tell you, it is the one essential, vital quality for those who seek to change a world that yields most painfully to change. You know, change doesn't happen just because we want it to happen, or even because it's fair for a just society. Change happens because people engage in the process. They come together in beautiful Abbotsford to honor those who have honored their own communities with change. Those are people like you. And I'm just delighted to have had a chance to be with you and to wish you a very happy International Women's Day. Thank you.
Wow. Everyone, once again, Sally Armstrong. How fitting on the eve of International Women's Day that we have such a passionate address from someone who has witnessed firsthand the transformative powers of action. And I think all of us in this room can relate, and I honestly did not see anybody in this room look at their devices or anything but that screen, which is a rare occurrence in this era of Zoom and other platforms. But those are the words that I'm going to go home with this evening. And as well, I wanted to share, as she was talking about International Women's Day, I'm not sure if many of you know, but this year's theme is Inspire Inclusion. That is the theme for the 2024 International Women's Day. And it says, and I quote, "The campaign theme for International Women's Day 2024 is Inspire Inclusion. When we inspire others to understand and value women's inclusion, we forge a better world." And I just cannot agree more. So thank you. Another round of applause to Sally Armstrong. I'm not sure if she's listening, but we also appreciate that she stayed up well past her bedtime to join us on the West Coast. So thank you. With that now, are we ready to go into the awards, everyone? All right. I would like to first introduce our 2023 awards judging panel, who had the Herculean task, the very difficult task of determining this year's recipients. If you can wave or stand so that we could acknowledge you. Thank you, Corey Redicop, Krista Perry, Liz Harris, Manny Deol, and Patricia Dreesen. Thank you so much for your contributions. A big round of applause. And despite this year, and it's hard to believe that we're celebrating our 21st anniversary, there are still new guests that join us every year, and we are absolutely thrilled to see the impact that these awards have had in our communities and across the Fraser Valley. Our hope is that this event fuels the incredible work of our nominees moving forward, and that it also fuels all of us, the change makers in all of us this evening. So to give you an idea of the kind of work that we're talking about, we caught up with two recipients of last year's awards. Let's hear what they had to say about their experience here and in the community. Please direct your attention to the screens.
I'm Peter Bailey. I'm Director of Free Rein Associates. Free Rein is celebrating its 31st year in the community. I think generally we see ourselves as a community development organization with a significant focus on employment. There's just so much going on within the organization that is about, recognizing the importance of authenticity and value around working with diverse populations.
My name is Brigitte Crosby. I am the owner of Tidal Foods. Tidal Foods is a community-based shop. We just put people before profit. We have a meat shop in Chilliwack, the best of the best, just at a much lower price point than the bigger box stores.
We do things like community employment training, which is probably the thing that's closest to my heart. And that's where we're serving the community through a holistic approach to re-employment. Initially, this work for me was a short-term measure, and something changed. This sort of recognition of what I was doing within the community seemed to have a much greater value to me than what I was learning at school.
I have become an advocate in Chilliwack for well over 10 years. Because of that, somebody felt comfortable during COVID to say that they could eat one day and could not eat for two. That's how they were getting through COVID. I ended up retiring from Chilliwack Hospital, and I waited for my first pension check, and I had $100 in the bank. That's how I started Tidal. Almost 3 years. We started out of the trunk of my car.
It's about the collaboration. It's about letting go of your ego and to look at the ways in which other people bring their ideas, energy, passion to the space, and how the whole creates something new. It takes on almost a life of its own.
We have a team of people, at least 46 volunteers. Our staff is amazing, a compassionate and empathetic people. I'm just very, very grateful that people have accepted us and opened their doors.
You just want everybody to kind of get it, but there has to be a period of development in all of us.
Just accept everybody as they are and be compassionate towards people and really show them that you really genuinely do care. And I think that makes the biggest difference, when you can give somebody a hand up.
Just working together with other human beings in a respectful and accepting way, it stops being about you and it starts being us.
You can make a difference, and I think every person can make a difference. Whether your difference is just listening to somebody talking and going through a difficult time, or if your difference is helping somebody by volunteering and helping, every single person can make a difference and a positive impact in somebody else's life. When I accepted that award and I felt like I was so far down here when I was homeless, I realized that when I won that award, I did make a difference in somebody else's life. I just maybe didn't see it that way for myself. Could you imagine if we all got together and we were able to do something together? Just the impact it would have on our communities would be incredible. When I won that award, I think I couldn't even breathe when I accepted it. I was so scared.
I was quite surprised by the whole thing, to be honest, and very surprised that I got the award. I was surprised, and I think all my people were surprised too. So we were a little bit like, what?
But on top of that, I had been through such a difficult time and had struggled with homelessness 10 years prior to that. And so it was almost a validation when I was standing up there that I was okay. I was going to be fine. I am so appreciative to have won that award for sure.
Having received the award was a kind of, I have to live up to that. I have to walk the talk that was associated with receiving that award. So keep doing what you're doing. When I looked at the people on that stage, these various departments who were represented there, that they're really doing their very best to embrace diversity and, working towards that end. So just keep doing what you're doing because it's great.
Wow. All the feels. It's why I come back year after year. It's just stories, as we've just heard. It's all the feels, and it's what you provide right here in the Fraser Valley. So thank you for making it such a welcoming place and such an equitable place for all. All right. As we shared earlier this evening, there were more than 50 nominees who are doing outstanding work and embracing the Fraser Valley's unique diversity. The 2024 nominees truly represent all areas of diversity, from gender equality to race, ethnicity, age, religion, sexual orientation, abilities, and socio-economic background. There are nominees in this room that represent each of these areas, and we should be so incredibly proud of our community. With that, we would now like to invite all of our nominees to please stand and be recognized. If our nominees can please stand and don't be shy. Make some noise, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you. As we move into the awards categories, we will be recognizing all the nominees in each category, followed by announcing the award recipient. Here's the housekeeping duties. The recipient is invited to come to the stage, pause for a photo with the category sponsor, and then be invited right over here to my left to say a few words after receiving your award. And it's going to be hard if you're the first one. So you're going to be the role model for your fellow recipients. No pressure. And once again, I have the pleasure of having some assistants come to the stage right now to join me. Mana Nahib Zadeh and Charndeep Chatu from New Directions, who are going to help us in presenting the awards. Let's give them a big round of applause. It's like the Golden Globes, the Oscars, the SAG Awards, all rolled up in one. And with that, Fraser Valley, are we ready to do this? All right. Here we go. Our first award is for effective human resources strategies. In this category, nominees recruit, maintain, and provide ongoing support to a culturally diverse workforce reflecting our community. The Effective Human Resources Award is sponsored by our dear friends WorkSafe BC, and we welcome Darren Brown, Manager of Client Services in Abbotsford, to present our very first award.
Good evening, everybody. On behalf of WorkSafe BC, I'd like to congratulate all of tonight's nominees for their outstanding contributions. Creating a culture of inclusion in our workplaces, schools, and communities is vital to creating safe spaces for all of us. It's a privilege to be here tonight and to continue our support of this inspirational event. WorkSafe BC is dedicated to promoting safe and healthy workplaces across BC. We believe in fostering an environment where each individual is valued and heard, regardless of their age, gender, abilities, sexual orientation, ethnicity, religion, or socio-economic background. The nominees for effective HR strategies are
CIBL Radio, Old Hand Coffee, Sparrow Community Care Society, Starline Windows Limited, Tydell Foods, Ziohami Fraser Valley Aboriginal Children and Family Services Society.
And the winner is Sparrow Community Care Society.
Sparrow Community Care Society, established just over a year ago, is a dedicated resource for older adults experiencing homelessness in Abbotsford. As the sole provider of an older adults shelter in the province, they offer a safe haven tailored to the unique needs of this demographic. Their mission is rooted in the belief that every individual deserves dignity and respect, regardless of age or circumstance. At Sparrow Community Care Society, they are guided by principles of compassion, integrity, love, and justice as they strive to make a meaningful difference in the lives of older adults in need.
Thank you. Well, this is great. First, I just want to say, it is such a privilege to have Sally Armstrong speaking. I don't know if you guys are familiar with her work, but she did the Massey Lecture, I think like 5 or 6 years ago, The Longest Revolution, and I've got a couple little daughters, like they're like 9 and 6, and Sally Armstrong is one of the people who I talk to my daughters about someone who's made such a tremendous impact. So I doubt she's watching, but really, like, great work to the organizers for landing her. She's like one of one, a great Canadian, truly. So yeah, we are, I'm Jesse, this is some of our staff at Sparrow Community Care Society. Foundational to what we believe in a workplace, it isn't like something nice that you do to promote diversity in the workplace. It is in fact like a prerequisite to excellence, and we firmly believe that. If you are not intentionally creating a diverse workplace and you interface with people, whether you're nurses, police officers, whether you're building a sales team, if you're not intentionally building a diverse staff, you're putting a hard ceiling on how excellent the work that you can do is. So we're very grateful for this. We often have residents of our shelter for older adults who have stayed at 5, 10, 15 shelters in their lives, who come up to me and they say, like, man, you guys have the best staff, and they are right for 2 reasons. First is because we do, and second is because we have a very diverse group of people who work there. So no matter who you are, maybe you connect with how kind Zach is, or maybe you connect with Maggie's beautiful art that she does to memorialize people who we lose in our community, or Natasha's just unbelievably annoying, deep care for every single person, or Cam's willingness to really stick with the rules and stick with the plan and create the best possible place. Or Shay is actually less colorful than normal. She's like sprinkles, or Bookie's like sharing his new baby with everybody, or James's twisted humor, or whatever it may be. Everybody has something that they can connect with, because we have such a great staff. And thank you very much to the organizers and everybody else. This is a real honor. Thank you. Oh, yeah.
It's official. We're already running late. But what a wonderful way to kick off the awards program. I couldn't ask for a better start. And thank you to WorkSafe BC for presenting the first award. And you just reminded me, everyone, please use the stairs to either side of the stage. Don't do what that young man did, which was jump on or off. We want to make sure that you get home safely. And I think WorkSafe BC would agree with me. All right. I feel like they're going to give me that orange pylon vest very shortly if you don't follow the instructions. All right. Our next category, everyone, is the Inclusive Environment Award. In this category, nominees embrace diversity and create a welcoming environment for culturally diverse groups. This award is sponsored by our good friends Envision Financial. Their team unfortunately couldn't be here today, so we're happy to welcome Chilliwack Mayor Ken Popoff to the stage to present the award on their behalf. A big round of applause.
Thank you, Freddie, for the introduction, and thank you, Envision, for asking me to step in for you folks. I first want to say that it's always nice to be in West Chilliwack, and that is pointed at Councillor Barkman. He continues to talk that trail, but it's all good. But all fun aside, importance, I know the city of Chilliwack, we embrace this strategy to a whole. I'm not exactly sure how many folks we have working with us at the city of Chilliwack, and it's a strategy that we will continue on, and I think it's great. So thank you for that. Thank you for all the nominees, and they are
Abbotsford Hospice and Grief Support Society, Abbotsford Police Foundation, Abbey Underground, Chilliwack Pride Society, Encompass Support Services Society, Fraser Valley Youth Society, Freestore Chilliwack, Harmonic Machine Incorporated, Hippie Mike Industries Incorporated, OPEX Abbotsford Fitness and Wellness, Project AIM, Rotary Club of Abbotsford Sumas, Tridel Foods, United Way, British Columbia,
And the winner is, and I'd like to meet this guy, Hippie Mike. Hippie Mike is recipient.
Hippie Mike Industries is here to raise skateboarders, create inclusive all-age events, and bring communities together. They opened the Valley's only indoor skate park in Hope in December 2020, operating 6 days a week and offering weekly lessons for children. Working with multiple schools and other organizations, they serve the entire community from Vancouver to Kelowna on a regular basis. At the end of 2023, they established a nonprofit society with hopes to bring more outside funding through grants and corporate sponsorships. The rest of the building contains a youth lounge, a skateboard shop, a martial arts studio, a flower shop, and 2 separate workshops.
How's everybody doing out there? I'm the guy they call Hippie Mike. Some of you may know me, may not know me. Spent a lot of time helping to grow the next generations, and that's basically what we're here for. You know, we look at ourselves and we go, what was easy for us, what was hard for us, and we want to make the next people have it a little bit easier, right? And so as we created the space in Hope, you know, it's a very small town. It's 5,000 people. There was probably 12 people that skateboarded in that town at that time. But it wasn't about the skateboarding. It was about giving another place for people to enjoy together. And one of my biggest things is always having people of all ages in the same room together and experiencing the same thing together and role modeling and all of that stuff. And so I just love the fact that we have a space that everyone is welcome to walk into and not be judged.
I think every community needs a hippie Mike. Congratulations. And the mayor is hooking me up with as much corn as I can consume this summer. Thank you, Mayor. I will hold you to that. All right. Everyone, our next award category is Diversity in Marketing. In this category, nominees market or outreach to culturally diverse communities. The Marketing Award is sponsored by Archway's Interpretation and Translation Services Department. It is with great pleasure that I welcome to the stage Ivana Cado, manager of Archway's ITS program, to the stage.
Good evening, everybody. Thank you for this introduction. First of all, congratulations to all our nominees. It's a great crowd today. As I have already been introduced, I manage interpretation and translation services at Archway. Archway in ITS has been providing interpretation and translation services since 1996. Locally here and also throughout BC. We currently work with over 600 interpreters, professional interpreters, medical, court, community interpreters, and also certified translators. Tonight, I would like to take an opportunity to officially announce for the first time that ITS, we're launching a brand new service, and we want you all to know about it. The service is truly remarkable in its accessibility. As of tomorrow, ITS will be providing video remote interpreting services or VRI. What is VRI? It's a connection to interpreters working in over 200 languages by video or phone in a matter of seconds. This is an ideal service, allowing professionals to connect with their clients or potential clients who don't speak English, where and when needed. Connect only for minutes and only pay for the minutes used. ITS is offering a signing up bonus. We wanted to let you know. Whoever registers for the service until the end of April, we would like to give you something extra. Signing is free and easy. Contact us if you'd like to get more information. We're sitting right here in front of the stage. Thank you very much, and now let's move to the reason why we're all here. And the nominees for the diversity marketing are
Chilliwack Film Society, Cool Runnings Bistro, Fraser Valley Pride, Rotary Club of Langley,
and the award goes to Chilliwack Film Society.
The Chilliwack Film Society is a non-profit society that runs both the Chilliwack Independent Film Festival and the Abbotsford Film Festival, Chilliwack. The society was formed in 2017 and run exclusively by volunteers until this year. They serve the entire valley and beyond, with 2/3 of their attendees coming from outside the area. Their mission is to provide a platform for a diverse range of voices to be heard, whilst also helping emerging filmmakers and artists get a start in the industry. They've had a number of BIPOC alumni go on to win awards and do incredible things, and have sustaining jobs in the film industry.
What I love about live awards shows. So I just learned that the representatives from the society were not able to join us this evening because his wife just went into labor. He may be documenting that right now for next year's festival. Let's give them a big round of applause, and we will accept this award on their behalf. Yeah, I don't know if you would want to miss the birth of your child to accept an award, but we want to congratulate them for the wonderful work that they do in the community. All right. Up next is our Innovative Initiative category. These nominees promote diversity in their community in a very unique way. So please join me in welcoming the University of Fraser Valley's VP of Community Engagement, Susan Maid-Kiss, to the stage to present the award.
Wow, this is a great crowd. What a wonderful night. It's my honor to be here to celebrate cultural diversity throughout the Fraser Valley with all of you. On behalf of the University of the Fraser Valley, I want to congratulate all the nominees and all the award recipients this evening. Your inspirational leadership and collective impact deepens our awareness of and our commitment to decolonization, truth and reconciliation, equity, diversity, and inclusion throughout the valley and indeed far beyond. And together, we are engaging diverse communities, transforming lives, and building a more equitable and just society. As Sally Armstrong emphasized earlier, we are all change makers. And now, the nominees for the Innovative Initiative Award are
Abbotsford Historical Book Group, Community Health and Social Innovation Hub, University of the Fraser Valley, Estilmuk Stiltilum, Good Medicine Songs, Fraser Valley Regional Library, Kwantlen Polytechnic University, MCC Circle of Friends program. Precarious Players Mission Overdose Community Action Team. Streams Foundation. Tourism Mission. Tidal Foods. United Way, British Columbia.
What an incredible category. Congratulations to you all. And the recipient of this year's award is Tourism Mission.
Tourism Mission is part of the Economic Development Department at the City of Mission. From its inception in 2019, Tourism Mission proudly stands as a youthful yet dynamic player in the travel and tourism landscape. At the heart of their mission lies a dedication to serving the diverse needs of those seeking to travel, currently exploring, or reflecting post-trip. Tourism Mission builds a dynamic community, amplifying travel experiences and fostering connections online and in person. From innovative marketing campaigns to impactful community initiatives, their commitment to the spirit of exploration knows no bounds.
Thank you. I am honored to accept this award on behalf of Tourism Mission. I'm Lindsay, one of the members of Tourism Mission, part of the City of Mission. We would like to accept this award, recognizing our commitment to make tourism more accessible. Thank you to the Fraser Valley Cultural Diversity Awards for this honor. As the first city in BC to loan Enchroma glasses, they're red and green colorblind glasses. This award means a lot in our effort to try and make tourism more accessible for everyone to enjoy.
Congratulations. So clearly, the Real Housewives of New York need to go and visit Mission after their wonderful visit here in Abbotsford. So if you are communicating or DMing Bethany, tell her Mission is her next stop with her housewives. All right. I'm very excited about the next two awards we are presenting this evening. They're very special. The next award is the Youth Champion of Diversity Award. And it acknowledges an individual aged 12 to 17 who worked towards building an inclusive community and society. We are incredibly grateful for the Abbotsford School District for supporting this award. Once again, and it is my pleasure to invite, I had a chance to speak with her earlier, the board chair, Shirley Wilson, to the stage.
Thank you, Fred. Dale, get my good side, okay? All right. Hi, everyone. It's so great to see you all. I love when this place is crowded. The lady who's doing the voices for these awards, her name is Wendy, and she's a personal friend of mine, and she's a Star Wars fan. So when I think about diversity, equity, and inclusion, I actually think about Jedi, which is justice, equity, diversion, and inclusion. So I know that that's one of the things that I got to give her a shout out for that. Thanks, Wendy. I also wanted to acknowledge that he wouldn't come up here on the stage with me, but our brand new superintendent, yes, you're still brand new. He joined us July 1st last year, but Sean Nosek. Sean, can you just give a wave? Yeah. Our former superintendent was 12 years. We think Sean should do probably 14 or 15. Right? Right. Okay. And of course, my colleagues, thank you. I want to thank the sponsors. And I also want to say big congratulations to the nominees. It's great to have over 50 people and organizations who are recognized, because that means that Jedi is alive and well in this community. One thing that I do want to mention before I open the envelope is that the Abbotsford School District has sponsored this award for a number of years. And it's always something because typically our own students haven't won. So I'm hoping for that. I'm just putting a plug in for that, honestly. But our district has 84 languages spoken in it. Think about that for a second. That's 84 languages in our community. Students who are attending K-12, 20,000 students in our district. Anyways, so the nominees are
Ayana Pulardik, Ishi Sharma, Jasper Obers.
Gives me great pleasure to announce that Ishi Sharma is our youth diversity champion. Come on up, Ishi.
Ishi Sharma is a student at Yale Secondary with plans to graduate in June of 2024. Fueled by a profound passion for fostering mental well-being, she aspires to become a psychiatrist. As the first member of her family born outside of India, she is a bridge between cultures. This passion propels her proudest initiative, EDI for Youth, a platform dedicated to promoting equity, diversity, and inclusion awareness among youth. Ishi is wholeheartedly committed to expanding her knowledge to achieve both her academic and personal aspirations. She is an ardent learner, a resilient community advocate, and an unwavering dreamer.
Let's give it up for equity, diversity, and inclusion, guys. Let's go. Woo! You know, if you were to ask me several years ago, even though I'd be like 13, if you even thought that you would be doing so much for equity, diversity, inclusion, EDI, I would look at you and say, what is that? And it's so amazing to be surrounded with so many individuals who just inspire me every day. So thank you for inspiring people like me every single day. It's honored to be in the same room as you all. As an older sister, this is dedicated to all the younger students out there, because growing up, I used to hate school. Abbotsford School District, I love you. But it's truly amazing now that I'm able to be a part of so many different initiatives, create my own initiative, and I'm just so happy to be here. I'm gonna cry. But truly, this is just a stepping stone for me to say, let's go. This is going to be with me forever, and thank you so much, Cultural Diversity Awards, for this award. Thank you.
Shirley, you got your wish. There you go. All right. Congratulations to our youth champion and as well to our incredible nominees. I think you will all agree our future is bright. Thank you for the work that you do every single day and to be role models for your peers, your fellow students, and your community. It's hard to believe, but we're now down to our final category, and I love that we have stuck to time. It is the Adult Champion of Diversity. Yet again, no surprise, this was the largest category. This goes to show that the community is really recognizing the work that these individuals, these leaders, are doing in our communities. This award is presented generously by the City of Abbotsford. So once again, please join me in welcoming His Worship, Mayor Ross Siemens.
Thank you again, and we can do away with your worship part. Never quite knew where that came from, but I don't know if I fit that bill. But it is such an honor, and I think I speak on behalf of all of my council colleagues. We are so immensely proud of our community. And, life is precious, and life is short. And people here are really epitomizing what it means to live life to its fullest. And to feel included, to feel like you're part of our community is vitally important. If we're going to make any headway in this world, we have to work together. And I'm so proud of of this organization and of our community and our valley. So thank you so much for being here tonight. And without any further ado, the nominees are
Aaron Levy, Ali Slack, Augusta Gladstone, Bridget Finley, Brigida Crosby, Grant Miller, Harmonpreet Kaur, Inez Montoya, Karen Long, Leanne Cassett, Paige Waddell, Shannon Boykin, Terrace Groves, Ted Udelson, Zishan Khan,
What an incredible list, and you are all winners. The one that has been chosen by the committee is Zishan Khan.
Zishan and his wife Golruk moved to Canada with their 3 children in 2012. Previously in healthcare, he now works as a child and youth worker at Vedder Middle School and a support worker for the Chilliwack Society for Community Living. Zishan also sits on the city's Accessibility and Inclusion Advisory Committee and is the founder and project lead of Streams Foundation, bringing people of different ethnic backgrounds, age, sexual orientation, ability, and religion together to make a difference in their community. In collaboration with the City of Chilliwack and other local organizations, they host trail and camp cleanups, weekly gatherings for seniors, spring break camp for kids, and other free community events.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Rida Khan, and I'm accepting this award on behalf of my dad, Zishan Khan. I'm incredibly proud of him, and I'm really happy that his hard work and devotion to diversity and inclusion is recognized throughout the community. It's something that he definitely incorporates into our household, and the events that he hosts are constantly a topic of discussion, and we're incredibly proud of him. We're incredibly proud of him for winning this award, and as well as just doing the work he does in our community. He's worked throughout the years to continue to bridge the gaps in our community and bring everyone together. He's worked really hard to form strong connections amongst community members, and we're really proud of him. Do you have any words?
Thank you, everyone, for choosing Zishan Khan. I'm really proud to be his wife, and he's an inspiration for so many people in our community. He tries to bridge the gaps, and the organization that he leads, Streams Foundation Canada, is based on diversity, equity, and inclusion. That's our main focus. He wants to provide a welcoming and a safe place for all community members of Chilliwack. So this is for him. Congratulations. Thank you. Thank you.
Wow, wow, wow. Again, all the feels. I hope you felt them as well. Everyone, please join me in congratulating all of our recipients this evening. One more housekeeping duty. If we can invite at the conclusion of this evening all the recipients, all the winners, to the stage for a group photo. We would like to take one to commemorate this evening and to share with the media so we can continue to sing your praises. I hope all of you tonight were touched or empowered by the stories that you heard or by meeting some of the nominees that are sitting here in this room this evening. Please remember and keep this special evening in your hearts as you leave this evening, and take it with you this week and throughout the year, and be reminded of the incredible champions that you have right here in your backyard. Empathy, my saying is empathy over apathy. And I think we heard that with Sally's remarks and with others. Truly, it takes a village, and I am proud of all the work that you have all done in this community. It is one of the most dynamic communities, the most diverse communities in the country, and you should so be incredibly proud. I'm sure many of you tonight have been thinking about others that you would like to put forward for next year's award, and I do hope I get invited back. I'm pleased to share with you that nominations are now open. So, honestly, you can go home, get online, and put forward a nomination. We want to see the number of champions that we celebrate next year go even higher. Please go to diversityawards.ca. diversityawards.ca. Before we conclude this evening, I would like now to invite to the stage someone who has invited me to be part of this community and these wonderful awards, and that is Manpreet Graywall with Archway Community Services. It's hard to believe, but Manpreet is celebrating her 35th year with Archway Community Services.
Thank you, Fred. You weren't supposed to share that. That was for your ears only. You know how sometimes the flights are late and then the pilot makes up? So I think Fred is good at making up for lost time with silent nudges for people to speed it up. But it is indeed my privilege to represent everybody who gets together to work on this event on behalf of Archway, and our leadership is here, old and new. Rod Santiago, our CEO, as well as our board members are here. Steve was here, and also Walter. I always acknowledge him because he founded Archway. If he didn't do that, we wouldn't be here. So he's always attended the event as well. And then our partners. I think we heard a lot about personal will, community building, political will. I guess if we had reached out to people in Chilliwack, Langley, as well as Mission, and they all came on board. We actually reached out to our local chamber who came on board. So money, heart, everything came together to start to create this event, and we are very, very grateful to all who sponsor this event, all who do the work, our nominees, to create this whole inclusion piece as something which you can aspire towards. When we started, diversity honestly was not a cool thing at that time. Now, like JEDI and EDI are all cool terms. At that time, they weren't. But this became a cool thing. Honestly, it did. And it's the chemistry of the people who show up, who supported it, people who put forward nominations, and the sponsors. Nothing can happen without money. And also all our politicians and elected officials who would come and show up for support. So thank you to everyone for making this possible. There's a chemistry which happens when everybody comes together. So really, really grateful for that. I do want to acknowledge that Chilliwack Community Services, Jacqueline Williamson team were a part of our organizing committee, Mission Community Services. Sean Bolter and team are here. Thank you so much for being partners in this. New Directions English Language School, Yvonne Hopp and team are here. Archway Community Services, of course. These are our teams, and I do acknowledge they do a lot of this work from the heart, day in and day out, and none of our partners or our people are eligible to be nominated, so they are doing this work just to clap for others, and I want to do a clap for them. A very, very special thank you to Mitchell Steiber Productions. You know, this audiovisual thing needs a lot of work and brain and talent. And Element 8 Studios for their ongoing support for the awards. Also, I thought our speaker was great. Too bad we couldn't have her here, but we are happy that she was able to join us virtually. To Augusta Gladstone for starting us off right, and our entertainer as well. And before I thank the last but not the least, I do think that our mountains and valleys are deserving of worship. These communities are quite beautiful, so we don't just worship our mayors here, we do worship rivers and trees and mountains. And thank you, Fred, for coming out to experience those with us. We so appreciate that, and even last year when you were sick, and actually I was sick this year, and that's why I couldn't get to say hello. I was conserving my energy. But Fred also then arranged for someone, and she was wonderful to be here as well. But Fred, thank you so much. You do an amazing job of working the room. And surprisingly, we have lost the token I was supposed to give to thank to you. Jade? Oh, sorry, okay. I saw it over there, sorry. I'll blame it for being under the weather, please. And with that, Fred will do the wrap. Thank you very much, everyone.
One more time for Manpreet Graywall. Thank you for bringing us together. And with that, we're like 5 minutes over 9. Pretty good, everyone. That is pretty good. There is still time to party. And if you want to party a little harder, we can offer you a hotel room just upstairs. All right? But in honesty, thank you so much for joining us this evening. We hope to see you next year. Whether you are coming from near or far, we want to ensure that you get home safely. That said, the staff here at the hotel will remain for the next hour. The bar is still open. The desserts are there. Please get to know our nominees and recipients. It has been an absolutely wonderful evening. I've seen a lot of you take photos. We want to spread the love. We want to show the love here in the Fraser Valley, so please tag us, #Cultural Diversity Awards. With that, I wish you all a great evening, and for all the award recipients, we just need you to come back on the stage for one final photo. Everyone, my name is Fred Lee.
Oh, I forgot something.
Oh.
Jade, our event manager, I don't know how I forgot, but thank you, Jade. Where are you? Sorry. Yeah. I got carried away with the Archway community, and then I couldn't even name like Kelly, our communications person, Tracy,
That's
Muhi.
quite all right.
Yeah.
We just had our very own Oscar moment.
But thank you to
Thank
those
you
teams.
so
Those are
much.
the people who make it happen.
Absolutely, absolutely. You want to share their names one more time? Okay.